Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Remko Rinkema, and you are watching Run It Back, the show in which we watch old school poker action, do some throwbacks, have some fun guests on the show, watch some new action from US Poker Open, PokerGO Cup, whatever it might be. We will have it here on the show. And today, no guests, as you can see on the screen, no guests today on the show, but it doesn't matter because we have old school poker action from the 2004 World Series of Poker right here on the show. So chime in with your chats. Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. I'm live in all these places. Let me know what you think. Let me know your best memories of watching poker back in the day when this was all airing on TV. And then if you have any questions for me, please chime in as well. I got lots of fun stories for you today. We're going to be watching some 7-card stud action with my guy, Marcel Luske, one of the first ever players that I interviewed when I first joined the poker world back in 2009. We've got Juanda in the mix. Later on, we'll watch a final table that'll include Mendemaster, Ted Forrest, and Chad Brown, RIP. Of course, sadly, he passed away. But we're going to relive some of these amazing moments from these guys back in the day. So, 2004, 7-card stud. We're going to watch 2 events back-to-back. We're going to have some fun, do some shout-outs. You guys, let me know where you're watching from. And we'll just listen in on some of this commentary. Lon and Norm, of course, on the call for this 04 WSOP action. So, yeah, let's have some fun. Let's just, make it into a laid-back, little Thursday night, Thursday afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Hangout party here on the Run It Back show. So please let me know where you're watching from in the chat, whether you on Twitch, on YouTube, or on Facebook. I'm monitoring all the chats, and I would love to hear from everyone who is watching. All right, we are quickly losing players here on the stream. Let's listen in to see what's actually happening here, because I haven't seen this in a very long time.
Welcome to tonight's World Championship of 7-card stud. We have 6 players remaining, all whom are veterans of a final table, but only John Juanda has a World Series championship bracelet.
The wild card here tonight, Lon, is the Flying Dutchman, Marcel Luske.
There he is.
He is wild, and he is a card.
And there is a good look at Marcel Luske from Amsterdam, Holland, finished 14th in the main event last year.
And here's John Juanda.
All right, we're getting an introduction of the players, of course. We all know these players all too well. 2004, when they were just being introduced to the general audience in the USA, as this was all airing on ESPN, and now we have it all available on PokerGO. So if you are into poker history, if you love to watch these old school action or old school legends of the game, you can check all of this stuff out on PokerGO.com. All this stuff is available. Unif Pokey, I see Noise Sauce, and I see Matt on YouTube chiming in already. I see Robert Tornado and Raylu, thanks for sending the stars on Facebook. So we are in tune with everyone who is watching right now. Let's just catch some of the action. Let's watch and see if we can spot anything funny.
Not a joke.
Oh, Nick Frangos is already upset. Let's watch, because we got to go back and see this. By the way, Nick Frangos, East Coast player. He is known as the King of Stud back in the day. I have no idea what he does now. I haven't seen him in a very long time. But he's a pretty angry guy. He's pretty upset, and he gets upset pretty easily, especially playing against a clown like Marcel Luske. So I want to sort of see what is developing here.
Nick Frangos, he has a 9 on top. His whole cards are 9 and 5. He's got a pair of 9s.
How much you got left?
You mean after we finished here? After we finish, I got them all.
I can't see if you have any chips. I mean, it's not a joke. Yeah, how much we finish when we're done?
When we're done, I got 720,000.
720?
That's the total number of chips in play.
Amazing.
Can we bet on that?
Oh, how much you give me?
Raise it.
Nick will raise.
Here
to
we go. We got a
10,000.
hand.
Note the shaded cards on the screen designate a player's whole cards. Action over to John Juanda. He'll fold. Marcel calls the raise.
Wow, Marcel basically dead here.
And when a player acts, you'll see the cards on screen move.
I can't believe those odds are that
hand.
close.
So right now, their pairs are on the left. Frangos bets, and Marcel immediately calls.
5th Street cards come out. 3 for Luske, 2 for Frangos, a straight draw for Luske.
Frangos bets, and Marcel, who's playing like he has a train to catch,
The way of no return.
will
So Luske picks up a gut shot here. He has a straight draw, backdoor flush draw as well. We're on 5th Street. For the people that don't know 7-card stud, please let me know in the chat and I'll give a quick explainer. But at this point in the hand, even though we see the odds on the screen 55-45, Marcel is in a world of trouble because Frangos has the 9s.
call immediately. Frango's still ahead, and Marcel is playing kind of loose here. Just a pair of sevens with the inside straight draw.
Here comes 6-3. Nick bets enough to put Marcel all in.
Yeah, Marcel must want to go home.
He's in
played
trouble.
This hand calling down with just an inside straight draw.
With Luske all in, all the cards are turned face up, but the river card comes face down.
I like a little 4.
He needs that for the straight.
Put in between here.
And it's a queen
Pair's good.
for Frangos. Still a pair of
I
nines.
don't want to make 2 pair. I want to make a straight.
Frangos had to show his cards first because he had the high hand on board, and now he's got to wait to see if Marcel can squeeze out a straight or a second pair.
2 pairs, 7s and 5s. Yes, sir! Marcel Luske pulls it out.
Oh my God.
Maybe I double up one more time. I get in the mood.
Marcel is still alive. Alive and well.
I thought Marcel was silent, though, wasn't he?
Not this one, eh?
Just like
All right, that's Marcel Luske doubling up with a lucky hand there. Pretty aggressive there with pocket sevens in 7-card stud playing for your tournament life. We're getting an explainer of the rules here on screen. So if anyone wants to know a little bit more about 7-card stud, you get dealt 3 cards. 2 are face down, 1 is face up. They're also explaining it here on the screen, but I figured I'd do a better job myself. Everyone then gets 3 more cards face up. So you have 4 cards face up, 2 down, and then the final card gets dealt face down to you as well. There are no community cards. All the cards you get are the cards you play. So you don't get the benefit of playing a flop like we see in No Limit Hold'em. So it's all about the cards that you get dealt. So 2 down, 1 up, and then 3 more cards up, and then 1 more, the final one, gets dealt down as well. This game is played in a limit format, so limited raises, limited re-raises, and then the interesting part about this game is that it's high. So you play the same hand values as your regular No Limit Hold'em. So you're trying to make pairs and flushes and straights and all that good stuff. So that's a brief explainer of 7-card stud, and you guys will see it on the screen. It'll all start making sense. Look, Luske looks down at Queen Deuce, and then of course he has an up card as well, which we're going to see on screen since he's playing the hand. He has a 7 as his up card, as you can see on the screen. That is the one that is highlighted. So that's how 7-card stud works. Same rules as far as the hand values as No Limit Hold'em. Frango's here with the 6s. Luske is playing an absolutely terrible hand. This might be one of the worst starting hands in 7-card stud. The Queen 7 Deuce Rainbow. I don't even know what he's doing there.
Frangos bets his 6s. Marcel calls immediately.
Let me see. Maybe I can.
What
hit
is he
something
doing?
once in a while.
Queen 7 4 Deuce? That's nothing.
Now on 5th Street, Frangos picks up an up and down straight draw with his 6s, but it is Marcel who's representing a flush with 3 hearts showing who's going to bet.
So Marcel has 3 hearts showing. That's a good card to bluff with, but he has nothing else.
Marcel wanted Frangos to go away, but Frangos will play with his pair.
And the stacks are shallow, so
And
it's
now out
really
comes
tough.
6th Street. Still a queen high for Luske. Nick will check, but Marcel's coming back.
Yeah, he's playing as if he has the flush, so he bets again. And Frangos calls immediately. He has by far the best hand with 6s.
How much money you got? Can you move your other hand, please?
Frangos needs to hire somebody to keep track of Marcel's chips.
All right, Nick's river card is a jack, no help.
Check it.
He still has just a pair of 6s. Now action over to Luske.
Yeah, Luske cannot win this unless he bets at the pot, and he's going to bet in the dark, hoping that Frangos goes away.
But he doesn't. Frangos calls immediately. And now the cards Luske shows his nothing.
Wow.
And the 2 6s win it for Frangos. Back at you.
Bully me, man. I'm a bully.
Wow.
So Nicky Frangos gets back all the chips and then some.
That was quite the call down there from Nick Frangos. Luske playing with absolute garbage cards. I bet that if he would watch this again right now, he would probably say something about how he did not play that hand very well. Queen 7 Deuce Rainbow. Those cards are about as far apart as you can possibly get in the game of 7-card stud. By the way, I see Nick and Tyler and Matthew in the chat on Facebook. I see Logan, Ben, Van Peoples, Phil. And I see U.S. Army Combat Medic in the chat as well. And Chad Frey is joining as well. I see Poker619 on Twitch and Alizav84 on Twitch as well. You guys, thanks all so much for tuning in. Do let me know where you're watching from. Do let me know. Are you rooting for Marcel Luske? Maybe some John Juanda action? Maybe some Joe Awada? Or maybe you're in the team of Nick Frangos, the East Coast 7-card stud grinder, who definitely is a bit chirpy. All right, here's Luske again. King up, ace 9 of spades down. A little better than the Queen 7 Deuce. Still not an amazing hand, but of course, Marcel Luske can make any hand work. Let's see. Logan says, Mixed games need more attention than it already gets. Stud and Raz are so much fun. Logan, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I love the mixed games. I love 7-card stud. We have Dolly's game available on PokerGO. That, of course, if you love mixed games, you have to check that out. We had Doyle Brunson in the mix. We had a ton of top players playing inside the PokerGO studio. But sadly, the mixed games aren't as popular as regular No Limit Hold'em. I feel like the tough part is that people have to learn the rules, and the rules of No Limit Hold'em are known by everyone. The rules of stud are not. So that makes it extremely difficult to teach a larger crowd to love these games. I jump in on Twitch. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. I see Rhode Island in the house. What else we got going on here? I'm not really seeing too many shouts as far as people letting me know where they're watching from. But yes, I see Robert saying on Facebook, Luske played so bad. Yes, that was absolutely horrendous. That was very, very bad. In this case, he makes kings against Juanda, who is already aware of the bad news, so it seems.
Big pot if he makes this straight.
And with that in mind, Juanda will call.
It was probably time to fold. His head said to get out, but his hand just moved forward.
Now the river card face down.
So Luske well in the lead here.
For Luske, it is that 2 of diamonds back there.
2 pair.
Gives him 2 pair, and he's going to fire again. He's very aggressive. In his position, a lot of players might have checked because the player against them is on a draw, and if they make the draw, they're going to raise.
Now Juanda, oh, that's dangerous. He got another 4.
Yeah, he missed the straight. He has 2 pair. He's staring at kings, and he's got to figure that Marcel has better than the kings.
So much money in the pot.
Right now, 79,000 in the pot. He had a chance to get away, but right now it's getting more and more difficult.
Yeah, he's deep into it, and he's going to be crippled chip-wise if he calls and loses.
You probably got me, but there's so much money in the pot.
He's pot committed, and now he sees the bad news. Marcel Luske wins the hand.
Yeah, this was a case where you don't chase, because one bad call leads to another, and before you know it, you're in a marriage you can't get out of.
So let me tell you guys, if you're new to 7-card stud, one of the most important things in 7-card stud is play strong hands. Because like Norman Ched said, you get priced in quickly. You're chasing 2 pair. You're chasing backdoor straights and all sorts of draws, which makes it extremely tough to get your money in good. So play good cards. Don't play the Queen 7 Deuce. That's not going to work. Short little segment here on Marcel Luske. We got to listen in. We got to see what this is about.
I'm Marcel Luske, and I'm from Holland, Amsterdam. I do crazy things on the table.
Yes, sir!
I wear my sunglasses upside down. It breaks their concentration if they look at you, because something is not right and they don't know what.
No woman, no cry.
I like to sing 100 times more than I like to play poker.
No woman, no cry.
Sometimes you're singing and then people start to say, hey, that's nice what you're singing.
Marianne, why don't you be?
Of course you get sometimes people who say, well, hey, cut it out. It's like I'm sending out my signals on the table, and whatever comes back to me as a feedback gives me the information I want.
Yes!
It's a mind game.
Incredible. Incredible. Little side story there. Marcel Luske was one of the first players I ever interviewed. I'm from the Netherlands myself. When I was playing in my first ever underground home games, when I was learning the game of poker back in 2006, one of the first prizes I won in the home games was a DVD set of the World Series of Poker 2004. So I have watched this over and over again. The main event, all the side events. Back in 06, when I was first getting into poker, this is what I would watch. I would watch the 04 WSOP, and later on, of course, I got the DVD sets of 05 and 03 and 06 and all that good stuff. But 04 was the first ever WSOP that I watched, which is funny because most people, their first ever WSOP was 03, the Moneymaker one. So yeah, that's a little bit of a side story there, but by the way, I would love to know when you guys first watched poker on TV. You know, did you sort of jump into it during the Moneymaker boom, or perhaps did you find the game a little earlier, or maybe a little bit later? Clearly, Brian Keel on Facebook says, "I missed the days when stud was played regularly in casinos." He first started in 1999. 266 stud will be 12 tables out of my local 24-table poker room. Now you've got to go to AC or Vegas, and then you can only find it at higher limits. Correct, Brian. You can only find the mixed games at the higher limits. It's all no limit hold'em everywhere. 7-card stud is definitely a game that has completely died out in Las Vegas unless you're playing really big stakes, or unless you get lucky during the WSOP, and you'll be able to find enough players to get a table going. But then still, the stakes might be as low as 10-20 or 20-40, which, for most people is just, fairly high stakes. Here's Juanda against Juanda, a pair of 8s versus a pair of queens. Let's see if Juanda can make a comeback.
He has dead cards, referencing the fact that one of his queens and one of his jacks were already out with other hands that folded.
So now John Juanda at risk of being out of this championship. Now the 4th Street, no help for either.
7.
5th Street, Juanda with 3 queens.
Well,
Juanda's going to
basically
need a
game
lot
over.
of clubs or a lot of 8s.
All right, we're going to lose John Juanda here from the final table. I see some questions coming in. You guys, please let me know if you have any questions. Let's see. Chad says, Remko, I liked it better when you drank beers during this. I know, me too. But I'm trying to stay healthy. I'm trying to train really hard for a cycling race. So I'm trying to stay away from the beers, actually, which is tough. But I'm trying to do my best there. What else we got going on here? Phil Quinn says, going to Vegas for a week in December. Phil, hit me up. When you're in Vegas, if we have something going on during the studio, I will happily give you a tour of the studio. By the way, that's for everyone who's watching. If you are in Vegas and I have time, I will give you a tour of the PokerGO studio. I'd love to give you all a sense of what it's like to be in that studio when the action is happening. You can just find me on Twitter. My handle is right here down below. My DMs are open. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe, do all that good stuff. But yes, I love to spread the love of the studio and show everyone how amazing that space is. Trumero says, I miss characters like Luske. He was one of my favorites, 100%. He was my favorite player to watch back in those days. And it still hurts when you watch the 04 main event and you see him busting on the bubble in 10th place. He should have made that final table. He should have been there to battle with Greg Raymer and Josh Aryeh and David Williams and all those players in 04. Let's see. Chad asked me, Remko, what is better all-time entertainment for you? All WSOP main events or the entire series of high-stakes poker? Okay, that is an extremely difficult question, and you can make an argument for both sides, but I want you guys in the chat to chime in on Chad's question. What's more entertaining? The entire high-stakes poker series, like every season, or every single WSOP main event and that coverage? I know where I'm leaning. I'm a little biased, but I know where I'm leaning. Well, I'll give my response in just a few seconds. But that's a great question, Chad. I really appreciate it. What else we got going on here? Van People says, very cool, Remko. Big fan of Stud. I love it. Thanks for chiming in. Thanks for tuning in. And please stay tuned because we might even do a giveaway later this show. I got to go check, but I think we can do something. Trumero says, are you going to play Helmut Heads Up next? No, that's going to be Nick Wright, the FS1 talk show co-host, which is going to be really exciting. I think that Mr. Nick Wright is going to put on an amazing show. And just imagine this. Just picture this. If Nick Wright, who is a sports broadcaster commentator, if Nick Wright beats Helmuth, imagine the meltdown that he'll have from losing to an amateur player. Personally, I can't wait for that. I cannot wait. I want to see Helmuth just jump out of his chair and go nuts. I think it would be really entertaining to see him lose against Nick Wright. And if he wins, then guess what? We're bringing in Ivy. We're bringing in Dwan. We will find someone eventually who can beat Phil Hellmuth. But we had to give Nick Wright this chance, and I would love to see Nick Wright give it a chance. Let's see what we have. Oh, yeah, let me answer this question. I see Dan Myers on Facebook saying, high-stakes poker, it's not even close. Poker619 on Twitch says, high-stakes poker, hands down. Larry says, high-stakes, easy. I feel as though everybody is voting high-stakes poker here. Do we have any love for the World Series of Poker in this chat here anywhere? I don't think so. All right, I'm going to go with World Series of Poker. The tournaments, guys, the tournaments, the sweats, the knockouts, people walking off stage, millions of dollars being won for just $10,000. That, to me, the ultimate drama, that is what I'm here for. That is what I love the most. And if you're telling me to pick between the World Series of Poker and high-stakes poker, I'm going to go World Series of Poker. The drama of the tournaments cannot be beaten. It cannot be beaten. Of course, Jamie Gold, Sammy Farha, millions of dollars, Gila Liberté, Dola Brunson, all the legends playing against her. Yes, that's awesome. That's great. But those guys are all rich already. It doesn't really hurt them all that much. When you see a nobody win the WSB main event, turn 10K into 10 million or whatever the number might be, that to me is the ultimate drama. That is what makes poker cool. WSOP, hands down, that's my favorite. That drama I can watch over and over again, and it'll never get boring. And every single year, I look forward to the WSB main event with more anticipation than the Super Bowl or the NBA Finals or the Stanley Cup or whatever it may be. World Series main event is nothing compares to that. Nothing. It's just my favorite event of all time. Robert says, way more drama on WSP coverage. No contest. Tyler says, WSP for me. I feel like I'm winning over some people here in the chat. I'm winning over people in the chat. I appreciate that. Blake says, WSOP, Grandpa was there in 2007, got knocked out around 200th place. I was 18, and that's what got me into poker. Blake, thanks for sharing that story. That is really, really cool, and I hope you get a chance as well to play the WSOP at some point in your life. If maybe you already have. Who knows? David says, you have to battle through thousands of people to get to the final table of WSOP. I like it better. Thank you for being on my side. I appreciate that. Poker619 says, High Stakes Poker was an iconic show. The vibes, the characters, everything was amazing and unique. I agree. You definitely, not a single lie was told in that sentence. I definitely agree. And I also think the new High Stakes Poker that we just brought back, that is now available on PokerGO, Season 8, by the way, in case you've missed it, with Phil Ivey and Tom Dwan and Rick Solomon and Bryn Kenny and Nick Petrangelo, John Robert Ballant, all in the mix, Lin G in the mix. That was also tremendous. The new High Stakes Poker season was amazing. But still, at the end of the day, I got to vote for WSP main event if I had to pick. But of course, I don't have to pick. I can watch it all. It's all available on PokerGO. So if you just want to watch some of that action, you can find it all on PokerGo.com. And if you are new to the show or new to PokerGo, you can use the promo code HSP to take $20 off the annual sub and watch basically 7 million hours of poker content whenever you want, and maybe study and learn a little bit like you are maybe doing today as we are watching some 7-card stud and we just see Corey Zeidman get eliminated. So we're down to 4 players and Marcel Luske is still in the mix. Whew, I'm almost out of breath. Let's see what else we got going on here at this final table, because we are down to the final 4.
Juanda and family win another hand, and he is our chip leader.
Oh, we're going to commercial, but we are not going to commercial. But this is the 04 WSOP, watching some 7-card stud. Let's see what Lon and Norm have to say.
Welcome back to the 7-Card Stud World Championship. You see our Toyota chip count. Joe Awada with 290,000 is the leader among the 4 remaining players here. At event number 24 of 33, we see a lot of players who have some family members with them to support them here in the casino. Well,
wow.
Joe Awada has brought his own personal cheering section in the hopes that his family will help him break through.
I have 6 kids. I always carry my children's photographs. I don't believe things bring you luck and bad luck. I don't believe in that, but you know what they are to me, of course. They mean the whole world to me, and they come before anything else in the whole world. These are my only cheerleaders here, man. They're my only cheerleaders.
That's cool.
My wife is really not a gamer kind of a person. She thinks I'm out of my mind, you know, playing, gambling, you know, especially when you have 5, 6 kids to support. I stopped playing for the past 7, 8 years when I started growing my business. Having a family and then starting a business, you know, something had to be given up. So, of course, I gave up poker. I got back into it just like last year. I said to myself, I'm gonna play in the tournament, the World Series this year and see what happens. And thank God I did.
Joe's got to be thrilled about making his 2nd final table at the series this year.
And he's recovered well from the brutal bad beat he took at the end of the 1st final table when he lost to Scott Fishman in Hold'em.
Wow, really cool story about Joe Awada. I forgot about that. 6 kids. Hope Joe Awada is doing well. I'm not sure if he still plays poker. If anyone knows, please do let me know. But that's really cool. What else we got going on here? Trav G says, Rem, a true legend. Thank you so much, Trav, for the shout. I appreciate that. Polish Prince says, I'm going WSOP. Pete Robo on Twitch says, WSP is the best. My son Lucas and I will be coming to the WSOP this year. We are playing the tag team event. Pete, that's awesome. Pete, go give me a shout when you're here. Love to shake your hands and you know, give you guys the full experience when you're at the WSOP. Maybe, you know, introduce you to some of your favorite players. Who knows who we can run into during the WSOP. What else? He says, oh, he just turned pro and started to stream. That's really cool, Pete. I love that you're sharing that with us. Whatever. What does U.S. Army Combat Medic say? He says Gabe Kaplan made high stakes poker. I agree. The voice of Gabe Kaplan is what gave the high stakes poker that unique feel, and that's what I love about it as well. Gabe and AJ Benson together, probably the most iconic duo in all of commentary. Only matched, perhaps, by Lon and Norm. 3-way action here. Lots of possibilities. Let's have a look, because everybody is up against the rolled-up 5s of Luske and the kings of Frangos. It's a massive pot.
Any player to Lisandro, who checks. Luske remains under the radar.
And the trap grows deeper for Nicky, who bets the pocket
Wow.
kings, which understandably he believes is best.
Luske trapping.
Lisandro called.
And let's see. Well, Marcel, I thought they might get a check raise there, Lon, but he's setting a big trap. And Lon, a big trap is bigger than a little trap.
Fifth Street now, no help to the players. Lisandro checks, Luske checks, Frangos bets, and Lisandro gets out of the hand.
Now Marcel springs to action with a check raise, and Nicky looks like someone told him he's got 24 hours to live.
That's so sick. Guess you're gonna break me.
And
Nice hand.
the pot's so big, Nicky with no choice but to call, and this trap is going to be his death now because it's going to take away almost all his chips.
Sixth Street is a 9 for Luske. He's got a full house.
And he cannot lose the hand now.
Unreal.
What a crazy
And
hand.
Nicky can do nothing but call.
Luske bets before the last card comes out on the river.
Gonna ask for more than this in the three-way pot.
Well, he's looking for a straight or a second pair, but he is a dead man walking.
There's too much in there. I'd rather just
Has
not have to think about it.
no option but to call it for Frangos, and Luske turns
Wow.
over the full house.
Full house.
Perfectly executed by Marcel, the whole hand. Great discipline.
The chili decks continue.
They do indeed.
Unbelievable.
Nick has only 3 chips left. Meanwhile, Marcel Luske with a big and timely win, our chip leader.
I start to like this game.
Well, Nicky may be starting to hate this game. After the ante, he's only got 1 chip to play with.
Well, we heard Marcel say earlier he saw someone win a tournament when they only had 1 chip left. Nicky would love to show Marcel that trick
Let me
again.
know how I did.
Nick plays his last chip without looking.
You guys notice Matt Savage, the tournament director right there with the microphone? Pretty cool. He, of
Can he leave
course,
the playing field
with the World
while
Poker
you're
Tour now.
playing?
I guess he can. Joe Awada with split aces.
Oh, geez. Nicky might as well just keep walking through the stadium tunnel.
Awada raises. Doesn't matter to Nicky Frangos.
I think Marcel's disappointed. He wanted to be the one to finish off Nicky, but he doesn't have the cards to do it.
All right, this is bad news for Nick Frangos as Joe Awada has a pocket aces against his queen up, and he only has 1 chip left. What else we got in the chat going on here? Need No Respect has any idea what's going on with Jason Somerville or Run It Up? I believe Run It Up is coming back this year with live events. Don't hold me to that, but that's the latest that I've heard. I know Somerville is just busy living his life. I'm pretty sure the Twitch life can be pretty exhausting and demanding. So I hope he comes back to Twitch at some point. It'd be awesome to have him back streaming, but I don't think there's any plans, or at least not that I've heard, but I can only imagine that Somerville will be doing some kind of poker content in the future, and it'd be awesome to have him back on because he's a legend. He's an OG. Nikki Young says, I'm going to play in it this year. Women power. We need more of us good women poker players. Nikki, I appreciate that. I agree. It'd be awesome to see you out there at the WSOP. And I'm very excited to see as many women as possible going deep in the main event. The only thing that I always say that would be the coolest thing to happen is for a woman to win the WSOP main event. That would be, if I got to pick something as far as a storyline for this year, a woman winning the main event would be my favorite storyline. And maybe also Phil Ivey at the final table. That would be really cool as well. And then, of course, everybody is going to be tuning in to watch the epic showdown here. All right, we're 3-handed here. Marcel Luske, Joe Awada, Jeff Lisandro. Lisandro sitting on very few chips in this 5K stud championship. And, of course, this was the number 1 chance that Marcel Luske had to win a bracelet. We all know Jeff Lisandro back in 2009. I believe he won 3 bracelets. They were all in stud. 1 in Raz, 1 in stud high, and 1 in stud 8 or better. So Lisandro clearly knows what he's doing. But in this case, you know, we're about to go heads up here, and you guys will see how it will unfold. If you're just tuning in, my name is Remko. I'm doing this show called Run It Back. We're watching some old school throwback action. Today we are doing it from the 04 WSOP. We're watching some 7-card stud. After this event is done, we're going to do another one. It's a different event. Ted Forrest, Chad Brown in the mix, Men the Master. You guys remember that moment where Men the Master spits his beer out? That's going to be happening on this show here today. And then if you guys just want to like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be very much appreciated. Share with your friends. Tell them all about it. I have the biggest guests on this show usually. Today I'm flying solo because I just wanted to watch some 7-card stud. And guess what? None of these guys that are on the table were available to be on the show with me. But last week, I had Phil Hellmuth on Run It Back, and we broke down his win against Daniel Negreanu in high-stakes duel round 3. So Helmuth claimed the big win over Negreanu, winning 3 straight matches. And then Chad comes in here with a question. He says, Remko, would you take Ivy, Helmuth, or Dwan best of 5 heads up? I would lose against Ivy and Dwan and Helmuth because I am not a legend like those guys are. I would love to claim that I could win, but that would be complete nonsense. If I would run really hot, maybe I would have a chance. But other than that, I'm probably drawing stone dead. But it is a fun thing to think about, that if I would ever stumble into a pile of money, perhaps walk into Bobby's room, mix it up with the big boys, and try to have some fun at those high stakes. But I would need to be I need to be very rich. I might have started GoFundMe to pull off something like that. Nikki says, I'd love to be heads up against Ivy, but win, obviously. Nikki, don't we all? Don't we all want to beat Phil Ivy heads up? But if you do it in a main event, then I'll remember that you were here in the chat on Run It Back, and then I want the first interview with the 2021 WSOP main event champion. You know, you got to give me that at least. But I would love to see you in the main event, and it'd be amazing to see a woman make the final table and ultimately to go out and win it. Let's see. What else we got here for questions? If you guys have any questions, please send them in. I'm going to get caught up on the chat while Awada and Luske go on heads up.
Looking for their first World Series bracelet.
When you're in a poker game, you don't fear nobody.
Okay, we're gonna go all in now.
You just play your game.
It's not being big-headed, but I think I have the best chance to win it.
Give me the money, damn it.
I like my chances.
I'm enjoying my rush right now.
I like my chances.
I feel like I'm on a mission. I want to win the bracelet. I mean it. You're just too good to be true. Can't get my eyes over you. You're just like heavenly touch.
Love this.
Oh, I will hold you so much.
A little dinner theater. When
Little Marcel Luske singing action here at the final table of the 5K 7-card stud from 2004. This was Marcel Luske's big chance to win a bracelet, and most of you will know how this ends, and it did not end well for Marcel Luske, but it is a lot of fun to relive these moments. Trying to get caught up on the chat here. Phil Quinn says, Scotty Win main event was the first poker event I ever watched. Phil, if you're still with us here watching the stream, you have to check out the video that we posted on YouTube of Scotty Win being drunk at the 50K final table and going absolutely bananas against Eric Lindgren and Michael DiMichele. Just insane footage. Your Scotty Win comment reminded me of that, and that is one of my favorite videos to watch over and over again. Let's see what else we got here in the chat. Mitch is in the house. Hey, Mitch, what's up? Thank you so much. Errol Beardy says, when is the main event? Great question. I'll tell you right now. I'm going to go to WSOP.com and have a look at the schedule because they released the schedule, and I can tell you right now when the main event is going to be. Main event, November 4 until the 17th, and the entire WSOP goes from September 30th until November 23rd. So there you have it, November 4th until the 17th. So you got a few months left to find $10,000 to play in the main event. Maybe I'll play this year. Maybe I'll find some money somewhere. I'd love to play. It's a bucket list item. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. We'll turn it up a little bit.
Marcel checks, Awada checks, to the river we go. Both cards down.
We got some audio issues there with the feed, but I guess we'll be all right.
See, he stopped again when he squeezes his cards.
And his cards are worthy of it. He's got aces up now. Over to Joe Awada, who has 2 pairs, 6s and 4s.
And Marcel is not showing a pair on the board, so Awada might think those 2 pairs can win this thing.
You do see the check mark next to Luske's card saying he has the best hand.
Aces up.
And now everybody knows it.
All right,
Marcel Luske.
one more for Marcel Luske, extending his chip lead. Let's see. We got a lot of discussion about women in poker on YouTube. D'Angelo says, look at Kristen Bicknell. She's world class. She is indeed world class, and she is one of the best players in the world right now, you know? No matter the gender, Kristen Bicknell is among the best. By the way, Maria Ho right now going deep in the Win Millions event. They got some live reporting going on PokerNews.com. If you want to keep an eye on that action, they got over $2 million first prize, so that should be a pretty exciting final table. I believe they are down to about 40 players at the Win right now. Scold Pada on Twitch says, what mixed game are you most looking forward to at the WSOP this year? That is a great question. If we're speaking about what I want to watch, it's the 50K Players Championship, hands down. That is the #1 event of the year. Now, if we're talking about what do you want to play, this year I might play like the $1,500 8-game or the 10-game event, just to get a little taste of the action. Give myself a small chance at a bracelet, have some fun, maybe min cash. So I might play one event this year, and it'll probably be a mixed game. By the way, I've never told you guys this, but I've played 5 WSOP events in my life. I've never played a No Limit Hold'em tournament at the WSOP. All the events I've played were mixed games. I played a horse, I played an 8-game, a 10-game. I believe I played the Dealer's Choice one year. So I've never dabbled in No Limit Hold'em. I've only played it as part of the rotation, so it is pretty funny to think about the fact that I might have to enter a No Limit Hold'em event at some point at the WSOP and give myself a chance to be all in for once instead of just slowly grinding away in all these limit games. All right, if you're just tuning in, we're watching the 2004 WSOP 5K 7-card stud event. We're just having some fun with it. This is Marcel Luske against Joe Awada. Let's turn it up a little bit and see where this hand is going to go. Rolled up 6s, by the way, for Awada.
He's made aces up.
And he'll bet 16,000 to Awada.
Now, Awada actually has an interesting decision here. He's obviously not going to fold. But he may fear that Marcel has even a stronger hand than Marcel has. He's either considering a call or a raise. He'd hate to be raising to an aces full house, so he might call.
Wow, what a crazy hand.
Real raise to 32, and alarms have to be going off in Marcel Luske's head.
Yeah, now he's trying to see through Awada's down cards. This is the problem for Marcel. He's got a good-looking board, a pair of aces. His opponent raised him on 6th Street with that board, and now raised him again, indicating his opponent that he can beat aces up or 3 aces.
Crazy
How
hand.
committed is he to the pot? Not enough to stay in.
Big laydown. He shows the aces up.
Wow,
and
big
he lays
fold.
down correctly.
Big fold for Marcel Luske, folding the aces on 7th Street against Awada's full house. And now, of course, Awada grabbing the chip lead. A painful question from Pete Robo. He says, how many cashes did you get in the 5 events you went in? The answer is 0. Absolutely 0. I got 0 cashes. I made day 2 twice. One of the events that I made day 2, I busted on the bubble, or just before the money bubble. I was very unlucky against Bruno Fatoussi, the legend of the mixed games, who finished second to Freddie Deep in the 07 50K horse. I sold some action to George Danzer, of course, a tremendous mixed game player, and we talked about the hands later on, and he said I did nothing wrong, so I felt great. But I busted it, I think, about 5 or 6 off the money in the 10-game event. I busted in Badugi, which is one of my favorite games. So that was quite a crazy experience back, I want to say, in 2011 or 12, long time ago. But yeah, still a really cool experience. But sadly, have never gotten to cash at the WSOP. If you guys in the chat have cashed at the WSOP, please let me know and make me feel a little bit better about the fact that I'm surrounded by some players that are more successful than I am.
Flush draw. But 2 pair for Awada will continue to bet and get called.
Luske on a draw right now. Now go to the river card.
He's on a draw for his life right here. He's got very chips left, and he's going to be all out of here if he doesn't make this draw.
Awada with the ace.
So he proved to aces up now.
And Luske 2 got the spade.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
He's
Got
been
him.
behind this. He can't even believe he made his draw. He has been behind every step of the way in this hand.
You see him double check it? So Luske in command, and he's going to go all in with his 13,000.
And
Wow,
Awada
what a
gets-
lucky
and
hand.
wonders if the river has come in.
Feels better. For good luck or goodbye.
Bye.
And now they show. And on the verge, championship, Joe Awada sees victory snatched from him again.
Wow, big hand for Marcel Luske here, doubling up. I'm not sure where these audio issues are coming from, but let me promise you, all this content that we're watching on Run It Back is all available on PokerGO. So if you get sick and tired of my face, or if you just want to watch every single bracelet event from the 04 main event or 04 side events, you can do so on PokerGO.com. And if you are new to the whole channel, or to PokerGO, you can use promo code HSP to take $20 off the annual sub. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned yet is we are giving away signed decks of cards by Phil Hellmuth and Daniel Negreanu. So only if you're watching this now, you will get to hear about this. Subscribe to our new channel, Run It Back Clips. The link is in the description below this video. On YouTube, I should say. Go to youtube.com if you're not on YouTube right now. Search for Run It Back Clips. Subscribe to the channel. The first 500 subscribers will do a random draw. We'll give away, I want to say 5 or 6 decks of cards signed by Negreanu and Hellmuth that we will send to lucky subscribers of the YouTube channel. We are around 400 right now on the new channel, so go subscribe to the Run It Back Clips channel on YouTube, and we are doing a draw. Among the first 500, we are giving away decks of cards, and hopefully we can hit that next week, and then I can announce the winners on this very show. Let's see. Robert says, 2006 WSOP, Ivy and I were side by side at the urinals in the men's room. He finished first. My only chance to beat him at anything ever, and I came up short. Come on, Robert. Come on. You might as well give up at this point. You lost. It's forever done. What else we got going on here? Wisco Baron in the house, as always. Appreciate you watching, my friend. Golden State Warrior says, do you think PokerGO will ever have the WSOP live streams, etc. from 2014? They used to be in the WSOP site archive. Well, that is a question for the World Series of Poker. We wanted to get those streams from them. However, they do not. They say they do not have them. So I wish I could say that those are going to be on PokerGO, but the WSOP told us that they don't have them. So we are basically just like, what should we do now? So if someone has a hard drive with those World Series of Poker broadcasts on them, please let me know, because they seem to be lost forever. They seem to be gone, and that is the same for Marcel Luske, who is now gone and has been eliminated from this 7-card stud event. The bracelet goes to Joe Awada, and this was the closest Marcel Luske has ever been to a World Series of Poker bracelet. He did not win one, and he still doesn't have one. So yeah, very sad about those 2014 streams and streams from other years. WSOP didn't save them, and we don't have them, so it's kind of a shame. However, we do have all the events that ever aired on TV in any sort of capacity, and that is the stuff that we have to get excited about, because it is hundreds of hours of content for you guys to watch. By the way, we just moved on to the next final table. Let's listen in a little bit and get acquainted with some of the players here on the felt.
Our 8 players represent 10 championship bracelets. Hello, everybody. I'm Lon McCarron alongside Norman Chad. And Norm, a great teacher-pupil showdown here at our final table. Men the master and men win.
Yeah, Lon Men is indeed the master. He talks the talk, he walks the walk. Sometimes he even drinks the drink. He's won a couple of World Series bracelets, and he's endlessly fascinating to watch at the table.
And there is Men the Master, a legend here in Las Vegas, alongside his apprentice, Men Wen, whom we asked about the strategy for going up against the master.
He's very aggressive, and I'm a kind of tight player, so I'm trying to stay away from him when he. I mean, I don't like to get involved in one with hands. I can't beat him. He's too good.
I want him to be better than I do, so that he can beat the master. Hey? Beat the master, take master cheap, win the tournament. I'm very happy for him.
We are ready to start action at the final table of our 7-card stud tournament. Those are the chips of Ted Forrest, one of the best poker players in the world, already with 3 championship bracelets in his career.
And he won all 3 of those bracelets in the same year, 1993. Since then, hasn't played a whole lot of tournaments. Concentrates on playing in the highest cash game in the world. He is just a pure, unadulterated gambler.
And on the Miller High Life Pocket Cam, you see that he has 2 8s and a 6. And all the players will be dealt 3 cards, 2 down.
All right, the action is rolling. We have Men the Master, Ted Forrest in the mix here in this $1,500 7-card stud event at the 2004 WSOP. So we're just gonna, enjoy another final table here on Run It Back on this Thursday night, as everybody is hopefully, sitting back, relaxed, chilling out a little bit. It'd be awesome for you guys to let me know if you're having a drink or if you have any good beers you can recommend, because once I win my cycling race, I'm gonna have some beer. A question came in about cycling on the Tour de France. Hit me up on Twitter and we can talk about cycling. But basically, the crazy lady with the sign, she should be in jail, because that is crazy. She could have killed someone if the crash would have gone worse, and she caused probably hundreds of thousands of dollars in damages. And I believe the $15,000 fine and not suing her is probably a terrible decision by the Tour de France organization. Poker619 says, the new YouTube channel with short clips looks awesome. Thank you so much. That sounds like you subscribed. That is all I ask for. So go to Run It Back Clips, subscribe to the new channel. Among the first 500, we are giving away signed decks of cards by Phil Hellmuth and Daniel Negreanu. So make sure you are among the first 500. And then you'll be entered into the raffle, and I will announce the winner here on the show in the coming weeks if and when we hit 500. Mitch says, I knocked Luske out of a 1500 WSOP in 28th. Wow, Mitch, I didn't even know you knew how to play poker. I thought you were just here to bother me all day. But I appreciate you telling me the story. That's actually pretty cool. What event was that? 1500 WSOP, like a no-limit event? Let's see. Phil says Ted Forrest was playing 75 150 OE at Foxwoods for a few years before COVID hit. Yeah, Ted Forrest is like an OG big-time gambler. I believe he's had the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. He's had the most incredible bankroll swings of all time, and you could probably write a book about Ted Forrest's life and learn how not to do it as far as money management, because this guy is seemingly one of the craziest gamblers of all time. Scold Pada 9 on Twitch says, I'm playing the 1500 horse and the Deuce to 7 this year. Wow, you definitely got to hit me up. I want to go see you in action at the WSOP. That'd be amazing to watch. Meanwhile, Men the Master doubles up or knocks out Wheatley in, what is this? In 8th place. All right, cool. We're down to 7 players here. Pete Robo says, I played the $600 no-limit PLO mix live in 2019 and didn't cash, but got my first cash online last year on GG in the closer $500 tournament. All right, so you're one step ahead of me, Pete. Congrats. You've cashed. I haven't. I still got to get my first WSOP cash under my belt. Scold says, in 2019, I did not cash in the $1,500 horse, but I did get 5th in the Aria 480 OE event. That's awesome, man. Congrats on the cash. It's always good to get a cash. I have a Handemop page. I got some results on there, but nothing at the WSOP. I did cash a South Point nightly tournament in Vegas recently, one of the first events that I played after the pandemic sort of subsided and live poker was acceptable again. So that was good for me. Meanwhile, 7-card stud, the rules are being explained. Let's see what is happening at the table.
Has to work with. He is definitely the short stack at the table. At the other end of the spectrum is the chip leader, Chad Brown, looking at 172,000.
In a 7-stud lawn, the first round of betting, the low card on the board is forced to bet, and we're seeing that right now. He has to bring it in and brings him into the hand automatically.
Table action will fold from Men the Master, and now over to Men Win, the short count, as we said, 2,500. Checks the hole cards, ace-3 in the hole, a 10 of spades up, and he is going to go all in with that ace. It's now or never, Norm.
Yeah, not much choice for him. He won his first bracelet last year at the World Series in stud high-low, and now he's in deep trouble.
Now our chip leader, Chad Brown, he's got a king up and then a king and 2 in the hole, and he's going to raise it.
Okay.
The percentage next to the player's name is the probability they will have the best hand at the end.
Hope it's the best hand. Oh, he got king.
Oh, you got king.
Well, it pays to look at the other side of the table, and he doesn't like what he saw.
All right, 5 for Brown, a 4 for Min Win, no help.
Yeah, Min's going to need an ace to take the lead in this hand.
And now here comes 5th Street, 6 for Brown, a club for Min Win, 3 clubs.
And now Min will draw to a flush, which would win the hand. Or if Brown doesn't improve his kings, a second ace on the river would win for Min.
Well, Brown picks up 2 pair on the river, and now only a club will save Min Win.
It's black.
He's teasing everybody. Mostly Chad Brown. If it's not a club, he's done. It's the 5 of spades, and Chad Brown's 2 kings holds up. He eliminates Min Win. The Master's chagrined to see his pupil fade away so early. Congratulations, Min Win 7th place.
Last card, Michael needs a 5. It is not. Michael Mueller finishes in 6th place.
You hear our tournament director, Matt Savage, announcing Michael Mueller is out in 6th place, eliminated by Chad Brown, our chip leader, who now has 225,000.
Boy, oh boy, Chad, you tough today, brother.
Get cards, it's easy.
Man, the Master was...
All right, I'm back, guys. I'm back. Pete Robo is giving me all the positive vibes here on Twitch. He says, Remko, we will both get our first WSOP live cash this year. Hashtag positivity like the master. I love it. That's amazing. Let's see. Adu Brought on Twitch. I'm sorry, buddy, you're wrong. He says, you asked for WSP recordings after PokerGO made YouTube delete everything. That was an unforgivable move. So many great clips. Let me tell you something. We took note of every single clip that was part of the rights that we own, and we are basically releasing all those clips back onto YouTube. So all the coolest moments, everything you love about WSOP and high-stakes poker, we're releasing all that stuff back on YouTube. So anything that we own is either available on PokerGO or already back on YouTube, and we've released so many hours of footage already back onto YouTube. And then, you know, the stuff that Golden State Warrior on Twitch was talking about, that is stuff that we don't have. So we have not also removed that either, because that's stuff that we don't have. So we had nothing to do with that stuff. So a lot of misinformation out there. I just want to set the record straight there. And all the clips are going to be released and are being released on the PokerGO YouTube channels. Of course, full episodes are available on PokerGO if you want to watch those. But guess what? This stuff's expensive. Takes a lot of money to make this. And PokerGO is well worth the price. I believe it's less than $7 a month if you use the promo code HSP for the annual sub. And then, of course, you get High Stakes Poker and Poker After Dark, all the new seasons. You get World Series of Poker, you get US Poker Open, you get Super High Rollerball, Poker Masters. We're doing so much. It's pretty incredible. And if $7 a month is too much for all the hard work and effort that we put into it, then I'm sorry, but then you can just watch free videos on YouTube as much as you want. Carlos says, any Raz ESPN videos? I got to dig into the archives. I believe there is one Raz event that was broadcast on ESPN back in the day, but not a whole lot, and I don't think it's on the list either for this year to be streamed. So actually, let me just type in Raz on PokerGO. We have the 2018 WSOP 10K Raz Championship. That's available on PokerGO. So if you're on PokerGO, you can check that out. And we have the 2004 $1,500 Raz event with TJ Cloutier, Chris Bjoren, Hoyt Corkins, John Juanda, Howard Lederer, and Dutch Boyd. That is available on PokerGO as well. And then we have the mixed games from Dolly's Game that are also that also include some Raz action. And I believe there's quite a few of those games, including Dor Brunson, Frank Casella, Elia Lesra, Mike Gorodinsky. All those players showed up to play some high-limit mixed games inside the studio in 2018 and 2019. So type in Raz on PokerGO, and you'll find plenty of videos to choose from. So that is pretty exciting if you are into Raz. Carlos, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate that. Let's see. Phil says December 15th to 21st. He's coming to Vegas. Mitch says he's coming October 23rd to November 7th. Well, Mitch, if you're in town, I might as well just take a little vacation, because I feel like you'll be in charge of Vegas then at some point. Wisco Baron says Remko flexes the South Point results. Damn right, I'm flexing the South Point results. I'm proud of that min cash. I think I won like $70. That's pretty impressive. We have the metal guy in the house. I appreciate that. By the way, everyone who's watching, please let me know where you are watching from. I'd love to hear from everyone. What else we got here? Any questions? Please keep them coming. Love to hear from you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the Run It Back Clips channel. You see it here down below on your screen. Search for it on YouTube, or if you are watching on YouTube, check out the description of this live stream and click on subscribe, and then you'll be able to check out all the action. Manukin Nick says, will non-American countries will be able to watch WSOP this year? When I last subbed, I couldn't see it. I'm in the UK. Nick, promise here from me. Yes, you can. No geo restrictions whatsoever for WSOP streaming this year. It's all going to be available. All the bracelet events, all the main event coverage, every single thing that we are streaming on PokerGO is going to be available worldwide. See, we're making progress every year. We're trying really hard. We're making big deals, and we're trying to put as much poker content as possible to for you guys at home to watch. So that is all going to be available. Rug Doctor says, I think the 2004 Deuce to 7 single draw is missing from PokerGO. The one Barry Greenstein won. Wow, that's a great question. You sure that was on ESPN? If it was missing, I'll try to track it down, because that is what I do. I am not sure if that went missing, or if it is missing, or anything else. If it's single draw, then we should have it if it was ever on ESPN. I don't see it right now. I'm making a note of it. I'll go back into it and I'll see if I can find it. If that exists, that footage from ESPN, then I'll try to do my best to go and find it. I believe we have it all. So I believe we have everything that was on ESPN. Robert says, after your race, have a St. Bernardus Belgian quad. It's heavenly. Robert, after 10 hours of bike riding, if I have one of those beers, I'll probably be falling face down into the dirt. That sounds like a very strong beer. Also sounds pretty good. I'll try it. Jonathan Davison says, I'm in Albury, Australia. Loving your work. Thanks, Jonathan. I appreciate that. If you're ever in Vegas, do hit me up. The PokerGO tour, PokerGO Studio Tour is available to everyone as long as it fits into my schedule and routine. Wisco Barron says, I heard Remko also took down the Thursday 4 a.m. keynote tourney at Sam's Whiskey Town. Wisco Barron, how did you know that? That is one of my proudest achievements in life, to win the 4 a.m. Keynote session. Rug Doctor, you said it was on ESPN. I will look into it and see if I can find this somewhere. Does not ring a bell, but I'll do my best. Note to self. I'm writing it down right now. 2004, Deuce to 7, single draw, Barry Greenstein event. Video is missing. Okay, we'll look into it. See, that's how it works. That's how you can just ask me anything and I'll make notes and I'll try to figure it out.
Against Chad Brown.
By the way, we're three-handed here.
Almost a 2-to-1 advantage. It's the 5s versus Brown's 10s, 4th Street.
And both of them get cards that give them straight possibilities.
Brown bets 3,000. Men calls it now to 5th Street.
And each of them now have an inside straight possibility. And of course, Brown still with the better pair.
And the bet and the call from the master. Now 6th Street. Second queen in a row for Brown.
And the 2 pair and the straight draw is better than men's 1 pair and open-ended straight draw. Men would need a 6 or a jack for his straight, or a third 5 would win for him.
And it's 6,000 over to the master. And he'll call it. Now the river card to come.
Good luck, gentlemen. Check it.
Brown checks in the dark.
And checking in the dark on the final bet, not that uncommon. You'll check if your opponent has a really good drawing hand, and you'll wait to see what he's going to do first.
And it is a king for men when it's not going to be good enough. Chad Brown turns over his hand, and his queens and 10s are good enough to defeat men the master. Chad Brown wins the hand.
You've got good card today.
But you did a great job to survive because
believe me, I'm a lot better tournament player than you. A lot.
Wow.
But I don't get caught. Otherwise, I'm gonna get you.
Chad Brown's been dealing with that ego all day, but he's used to it. He's from Hollywood.
My name's Chad Brown, and I'm an actor.
lower back pain used to keep me away from my favorite activities.
I was the co-host of a game show on NBC called Caesar's Challenge, and I was the male Vanna White. I used to make the letters move with my Centurion sword. Before that, I started out on Another World soap opera, and I did a feature film that I had a co-star part in called Slasher.
Damn, you scared of me.
One of the things that's synonymous between actors and poker players is the discipline that it takes to be successful at both. Poker, as well as acting, it's very competitive, especially now with the bigger numbers in the tournaments. I mean, nobody even knows who I am, and I think I'm great.
Well, is Chad Brown an actor playing poker or a poker player who's also an actor? I don't know. Man, the Master has also had some odd jobs.
Yeah, among them, Lon, he used to deliver furniture.
Oh, yeah, he used to fill houses, and now he pays the bills with full houses.
Yes, he did. And speaking of former employment, before he became a poker player, believe it or not, Ted Forrest, a hotel housekeeper at a Grand Canyon area hotel in Arizona.
Well, now they're all great poker players vying for the top spot here at 7-card stud. Men the Master, ace high and 3 diamonds.
So I was just informed by Kevin on Facebook that I also was able to confirm is that this no limit deuce to 7 event that Rug Doctor was talking about never aired on ESPN. It was actually part of the DVD set. So I'm going to look into this, and potentially I can get this available on PokerGO pretty soon if I can figure it out. So that would be really cool.
Macho going back and forth, neither with a hand.
Men bet 6,000 on a bluff.
But he's bluffing with the best hand. You know, Lon, I tried that when I proposed to my second wife.
Not this hand.
Not this time.
You lying, huh? That's what I got.
That's him.
Ace high, eh? Like it.
It was the best hand.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I knew.
He tried to run over me. Not man the master. He raised me with nothing. I raised him back at bat. I showed him ace high. He run away.
Hard to run with so many chips.
So many people shouting in the chat saying that this is bringing back so many amazing memories of them growing up and watching the game of poker, which is awesome to hear because this is the same for me. I love watching this. This is definitely one of those events that is pretty nostalgic to me as well. Errol says on YouTube, man, I love these WSOP videos. When I was 9, poker blew up where I'm from, maybe 2002 up to today. Still play cash games where I'm from. Brings back so many memories. Roger says, poker needs more booze at the tables. Well, we did something called Friday Night Poker where we had players drinking and playing, 5-10, lower stakes and having some fun with it. And it was a great success. It was a lot of fun to watch. Our medic in the chat on YouTube says, Remko, there is one time where folding aces preflop is the best action. On the bubble, when too many in front of you have called. Well, I hope to never run into that situation because that sounds like it sucked. Tremero says, remember the episode of WSOP that made John Ray Belland where he was telling everyone nice laydown? I haven't seen that since it aired. If it did air, it was probably part of a main event coverage, so it might be a little bit harder to find, but it will be available, or it is available on PokerGO. You just gotta find it. It's hard sometimes to nail down some of these specific moments. It could be one of Belland's final tables that we have available on PokerGO. Maybe typing in Belland in the search might pull it up. Pretty tough. Let's see what else we got here going on. Mitch says, Men is the dirtiest player ever. He's definitely up there. His reputation is pretty terrible. And there's all sorts of rumors swirling around about Mr. Men the Master. And I don't know which ones of those are true or not. But yeah, it does not seem like the most ideal person to have at your poker table. Mehdi Buzuita says, I'm watching from Tunisia. I don't think you know where that is. I do know, Mehdi, where Tunisia is. Tunisia is close to Algeria and Morocco. I believe the capital is Tunis, if I'm correct. It is in North Africa, bordering the Mediterranean Sea. And from what I've heard and seen in photos, it's a beautiful country. So, Mehdi, thank you so much for watching. If you guys want to challenge my geography skills, come at me right now. I think I can say something about your country no matter where you're from, or at least I can say where it is because I'm not Wikipedia, but I am definitely interested in geography. I've traveled a lot. I've been to a lot of different countries, so geography is one of the few things that I can actually say something about. By the way, thanks everyone so much for tuning in. I appreciate that. MM says, what happened to Ted Forrest? Is he out of jail now? Was he in jail? I had no idea he was even in jail. Is that a story that I should look into? Either way, I have no idea what Ted Forrest is up to. If I were to guess, he's probably gambling somewhere. That is something that he seems to always be doing. Wisco Brand says, one thing Remko knows is geography. Exactly. One thing, geography. That's all I know. Phil Quinn says, thanks, Remko. Always enjoy running back. Phil, thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Wherever you guys are watching from, I appreciate you all.
Lost Ted Forrest. We continue here. A 7-card stud. 3-handed. And Ted Forrest checks his cards. He's got a pair of 6s with an ace kicker. And he will call the $1,000 bring-in bet over to Men the Master.
And he's got 3 hearts.
Eat him up.
3,000 from the Master.
Wow, big cards,
Pocket
guys.
Queens for Chad Brown.
Big cards.
And he's reaching for the stack and more. He re-raises to 6,000, back to Ted. Now, we saw him win previously with a couple of 2s. He's got 2 6s now, and he goes away. Perhaps those 2 raises in front send up too big a warning signal for him.
Very savvy by Ted Forrest. He loved the 2 2s in the last hand, but he knows the 6s are beat this time.
The Master called it. Now we go to 4th Street. 4 hearts now for Men the Master.
So Chad bets with the pair of queens, but he's an underdog right now to those 4 hearts.
And a re-raise from the Master to 6,000.
Raise it up.
And Brown calls it. To 5th Street, Men would love a heart, but he gets the 2 of diamonds.
And now Chad is the favorite in the hand with the pair of queens.
Raise him up.
One less card now for Master to get the heart, but he's still going to be aggressive and raise only on a draw.
And Brown, the actor, deadly serious here. He'll call the 12,000. Now to 6th Street, and boy, men would have loved that 10 of hearts that Brown got.
Check, check.
What?
I said check, check. We
Deal.
all know.
You know that?
We already know.
Oh, they know each other too well, Norm.
He's looking for a 6 of hearts. Check blind to my friend.
You chicken.
Check blind to my friend.
You say check blind to my friend.
Well, Master would love a 6 or a heart.
Let me look at the last card.
Yeah, if you don't catch a 6 of hearts, you're my friend.
And men's river card is a jack of diamonds. He can't beat the queens Brown has. And Brown actually has 2 pair, queens and 10s, to win the hand.
Wow, big one.
And Men the Master, quieted of late, very frustrated that he can't get the best of Chad Brown.
If you order some drink, we have 3 of us left. Come on, get a drink.
You got too big of an advantage in the drinking department, man.
Wait a minute, I got 7 beer.
You have too much head start.
Oh my God, there it is.
Sorry.
I'll save these for next time.
I'm sorry, man.
Oh, the poker pro teaching the actor how to do a spit take.
Okay, let's watch that again. That was absolutely hysterical. That's one of my favorite moments probably ever.
Wait a minute, I got 7 beer.
You have too much head start.
I'm sorry.
I'll save these for next time.
I'm sorry, man.
Oh, the poker pro teaching the actor how to do a spit take.
I mean, think of that happening now. People would lose their minds.
One way to play poker, Men shows you one way, Ted and I show you a different way.
All right.
And they're all effective.
Won't affect me.
I just hope it's not contagious.
Let's have a drink first. Everybody have a
We
drink.
have a drink afterwards, man.
Oh.
We go out and have a celebration
Men
drink.
will be passed out by the time afterwards comes.
This is mayhem. This is crazy. I love it.
I'm a start head. I cannot raise blind.
Well, he might raise that 3 to a straight flush.
I'll raise it anyway.
Wow, that's a big hand to start with. Love
Over
that.
to Chad Brown. He has 2 3s.
Good eye by Roger Bickle on YouTube. He says he has like 3 beers on his little table. Yes, he has 3 Coronas on the table right next to him, which is hilarious.
Oh, Men doesn't just call, he re-raises.
I slow down. I slow down.
I have to slow him down somehow.
Slow me down.
All right, 4th Street. And now Men has 2 kings. The gamble paid off.
Yeah, that hit him good. And a very loose call from Chad Brown.
5th Street.
Don't even bother.
Wonder butter? I raise you with his hand, okay? Jack and a 9, a baby, and the king.
Nice hand.
Thank you, sir.
Good laydown by Chad Brown.
Because he saw Men's pair and he followed the first rule of 7-card stud at home. When you can't beat what you see, get out.
Roll me up. This hand right here.
Chad Brown, our chip leader, is the bring-in bet. Throws in 1,000. Ted Forrest, no stranger to the final table. Take a look at his cards on the Miller High Life Pocket Cam. He's got a couple of kings. Only calls the bring-in.
Just slow plays at this time.
Mid the Masters.
Very sharp eye on YouTube by Supreme. He says, who else saw the early 2000s mullet on Forrest? Yes, Ted Forrest has a tremendous mullet at this final table. You guys, you got to see it. It's pretty well hidden. It's not very it's not very out there, but it's a beautiful mullet. Big hands, by the way, clashing here. Wisco Baron says, Men and Scotty win. Heads up, must chug after every hand. I believe they are already drinking plenty of beer after every hand, so that's probably no issue at all. Nick Ramos says, Men and Masters, more accomplished player than both of them. As far as tournament earnings, most likely, yes. As far as reputation goes, Chad Brown miles ahead of these guys, especially considering what we just learned about Ted Forrest being in some legal trouble. Let's see if Forrest can win this one. Kings versus Queens.
Suddenly looks like he's in the middle of an uncomfortable surgical procedure. It might be occurring to him now, because of that raise from a man who only raises with the goods, that he might be in deep doo-doo.
And he gets out and he lays down to Ted Forrest.
Good lay down there.
Yeah, he figured it out, and you know, the respect he doesn't show Chad Brown, he had to show Ted Forrest right there. He couldn't see the kings in the hole, but he knew he was probably beat.
Not much talk now from the master. Right now, one of these three men will be making a nice living today. Men the master with the call of the bring-in bet, 1,000. Over to Chad Brown. A nice 2 queens. And he'll raise it to 3.
Where men had not raised, we've seen him so aggressive, but this one he decided not to raise when he had the pocket kings, and Chad takes care of the betting for him.
Ted Forrest actually has a pair of 6s. He folded that last time he had it.
Well, and again, this time he's beat by both guys, so a great 6th sense.
Kings versus
Fourth
queens
Street now.
again.
Brown with 3 hearts. No real help for men.
Men still with the best hand.
Checks it. Brown's not going to let him get off that easy, but then men immediately raises.
So he slow played at the beginning and set a trap, and now checked raise him, trying to get more of Chad's money.
Now 5th Street, no help to either player. Men gonna bet 6,000. What's that?
We got a caller online too.
Oh my.
I'm in the tournament, okay?
You don't tell people you're playing cards.
Raise.
I mean, you
Wow.
lie. He disappointed me there, but he did raise.
He did raise. He paid close attention to what Chad Brown was doing. And Chad Brown calls the raise from Men the Master. Men a 2-to-1 advantage, and now we've got the largest pot of this 7-card stud tournament here on 6th Street. Queens and 7s now for Brown.
Now, Men the Master originally might have had Chad on a flush draw. Those pair of 7s have got to worry him now. Men, though, does have the pair of kings. If he ends up with 2 pair, they would be better than Chad's 2 pair. Plus a queen would give Men the Master a straight.
All right, now the river card down. Chad Brown got another 7, 3 in a row. He's got a full house.
That's the jackpot card for him. And with this big pot, it's going to be difficult for Men the Master to throw this away, even if he doesn't improve the kings.
There's the 4th 7.
Boy, that's a card he didn't want. And he had to call.
And they flip him over. Chad Brown has won the hand, and devastating to Men the Master.
Once again, the rare sounds of silence from Men the Master after that shot he took.
Chad Brown, our chip leader, 200,000 stacked in front of the man right now. Not bad for an actor turned poker player on the weekends.
Look at Men the Master, Lon. When you start to lose, you get a little warm, so you start to undress. I'm very familiar with this brand of strip poker.
Chad Brown now with...
By the way, guys are still playing 3-handed here. Chad Brown, Ted Forrest, and Men the Master. If you're just tuning in, this is Run It Back. We are watching old school poker action, just having some fun with it, doing some shout outs. You guys, please let me know where you're watching from. I take all your questions and try to figure out anything you might need to know about PokerGO. By the way, if you're here, subscribe to the new Run It Back Clips channel on YouTube. Among the first 500 people that subscribe, we are giving away some signed decks of cards by Daniel Negreanu and Phil Hellmuth. So make sure you're among the first 500, and then we will do a random draw. And then on this very show, whenever that happens, we will do the draw and give away those cards. Load Runner says, Ted is playing so tight. Indeed he is. This seems like the Chad Brown versus Men the Master show with Ted Forrest as the spectator with his mullet to keep him cool, because that's what Roger says, keep his neck cool when he's hustling at Shadow Creek. That phone moment was pretty funny, actually. I might clip that out and use that at some point in the future.
He is going to raise.
I'm ordering. Don't tell me you get the jack.
No, you got it so far.
Men the Master all in.
And it's appropriate he's all in against his tormentor.
I'm double gutted.
Which means he would need a 10 or a 6 to make a straight and knock Men the Master out of this.
Double gut.
Or a 9, 8, 7 or jack.
Yeah, he need my 6, but I had to 6.
And four overcards.
Okay. Give him low card, that's all.
Here comes 6th Street. Oh, and Brown got the 10
There
and
it
a
is.
straight.
Right into Men's gut. And that means men is reduced to needing a 6 or a 7 on the river to stay alive to make a full house.
Jeez. Nice hand, lady.
River cards are out. Brown turns over an ace. Not needed. He's got the straight.
Oh, it needs a 3 cross, right?
6 or 7. It's a queen, and that's going to do it. Men win, eliminated in 3rd place.
Good job, man.
All right.
His 7th World Series bracelet will have to wait.
Well, at least he got knocked out in time to make last call.
Hey, what can I do, man?
And then there were 2. Welcome back to Las Vegas, Nevada, and the World Series of Poker. 7-card stud championship on the line. We're down to heads-up action right now.
You had to do most of the dirty work today.
Huh?
You had to do most of the dirty work today, knocking everyone else out.
Ted Forrest, the consummate gambler, who started playing poker at age 8 for marbles. And the man playing his most compelling role so far, the actor Chad Brown, seeking his first World Series bracelet.
Ted Forrest, you know, world-class player. If I win, it's not like, you know, hey, I'm better than Ted, you know, or if Ted wins, he's better than me.
Raise. Re-raise. It's like a basketball game.
Chad Brown seems like a pretty solid player.
Ted calls.
Kings.
Good stud player.
Good hand. Chad Brown wins a big pot.
When people are at that level, they know that they got lucky to win against the other world-class players.
Ted will win this pot.
I play in probably the toughest stud game in the world, and I think I'll be able to handle what comes my way in this tournament.
My plan of attack is to win every hand I'm in.
Queens and jacks over here.
That's my plan.
Ted Forrest will win this pot.
Now, there's always plan B, win 2 out of 3 hands.
He's been doing just about that well so far as we begin heads-up action. 166.
Our heads up between Ted Forrest and Chad Brown. Wiggum on Twitch is asking, run it back on any Raz yet? No Raz on Run It Back yet, but maybe I should get a Raz specialist to join me one day to watch some Raz action from back in the day, especially that TJ Cloutier final table would be a lot of fun to watch. Seeing some comments about people playing 7-card stud back in the day as their first game. Nicholas Perry, I see your comment. That is awesome. I'd love to know from people in the chat, what was your first game that you learned how to play? For me, it was definitely No Limit Hold'em because that was the popular game at the time. But I quickly made inroads into trying to learn all the other games, and that went really well for me. And I actually played mixed games pretty seriously for quite a while. Those games were pretty good online. Played on PokerStars back when I was living in the Netherlands, and played mixed game tournaments and cash games in Vegas for quite a bit as well. But of course, never at high stakes. But still, it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed that. And I would say now also that mixed games are definitely my favorite over playing games like No Limit Hold'em. By the way, rolled up 8s and pocket aces here, heads up and stud, which is an insane cooler.
And still aces for Chad Brown.
And as he has done the whole hand, Ted Forrest will bet. And of course, Chad doesn't know he has the set because the two of the 8s are in the pocket.
And he raises it.
Oh, he's going to test the waters now. He thinks he might have the best hand with aces.
I'll raise it.
And Ted Forrest is going to re-raise to 36,000.
And Chad Brown's poker life just flashed in front of his eyes because now he must know he probably is in a world of hurt.
And he can't get away from the aces. He can't get away from the big pot either.
And Lon, Ted Forrest is just bet in the dark before the river card. He's got to believe then that Chad doesn't even have a draw on him, that his hand is best and is going to hold up.
I bet.
And the only hope that Chad Brown is getting an ace here on the river. And the river card is a jack.
Well, 2 pair now for Chad Brown, and he was going to probably call with the aces, so he's certainly going to call with aces up.
And Ted Forrest flips over the set of 8s, and Chad Brown knows he is toast. A huge hit for Chad Brown in that hand against Ted Forrest, who played it beautifully.
Wow. How lucky. How lucky.
You owe 12, Chad. You announced call, but you didn't put it in.
I didn't put the 12 in?
No.
That's plan C, cheat the pot.
Inadvertent, I'm sure.
Wow. Rough one there.
Well, I'd pout too if I lost that much money on one hand, Norm. And you have lost that much money often.
I got to say, Chad Brown, for an actor, has been a very good poker player today. He has really had some nice instincts and deserves to be in the final two.
Going up against one of the best in the world, Ted Forrest. He's got 5-4-3. Worthy of calling the 2,000 chip bring-in bet.
Yeah, it's a cheap way to get in, and maybe you get lucky.
Chad Brown with 3 diamonds. And now 4th Street, and a straight draw for Ted Forrest.
That's as good as it gets for Ted Forrest. He's up and down straight draw right off the bat. And he's got the worst hand right now, but the better draw.
Forrest bets 6,000. Brown calls after he originally checked. Now to 5th Street. And Brown now with a pair of jacks and a couple of 4s for Ted Forrest.
So they both pair up, and the hand now pretty much of a toss-up. The jack's ahead of the 4s, but Ted Forrest still with that straight draw.
Yeah, Brown refuses to bet.
Raise.
Forrest does. Brown now will raise it to 24,000.
This could be it.
So Chad thinks he has the best hand, and he is correct. Ted Forrest has potential, but he's not going to come back and raise this. You know, he knows that he's probably beat right now, so he'll just call.
We are ready now for 6th Street. As the tension mounts inside the horseshoe. And here it comes. Well, Brown's now got a flush draw.
And no help for Ted Forrest. So Chad Brown will bet it with the higher pair and the flush draw. Ted will call it with the lower pair and the straight draw.
About a 2-to-1 advantage now for Chad Brown. And here comes the river card. It'll come face down.
And Chad actually is stacking his chips, so it's his bet, and he appears that he wants to bet this in the dark. He has only 1 chip left after that, so he's probably going to call anything that Ted Forrest bet anyway, so he bets it in the dark.
Ted Forrest gets his straight on the river.
Raise.
And now
Wow.
Chad Brown has some work to do. Only 1 chip left. He will have to go all in.
Will.
So now Chad must make his flush or make his way home.
Let's see if it's time for me to make my flush, Ted. I had the jacks with the flush.
He's not looked at that card yet.
I scrambled the card, so
It's an ace. He does not make his flush, and that means that Ted Forrest has won the 7-card stud tournament here and his first World Series bracelet in 11 years.
There it is, the bracelet for Ted Forrest. Beating Chad Brown heads up.
$111,000 for his victory. Chad Brown played a terrific game of poker.
you know, it's disappointing to lose that last 10, but folks, that's poker, man.
A fun day of action here at the World Series of Poker. Min the Master outlasted his apprentice Min Win, but the Master couldn't beat Ted Forrest and Chad Brown, and ultimately the gambler bested the actor today in 7-card stud.
Ted, you won 3 World Series titles in 1993. What took you so long to get to number 4?
Good question. I stopped playing a lot of tournaments and started playing the side games, but I've kind of had a love for tournaments rekindled in the last year, so I think I'm going to start playing some more tournaments.
Hope you enjoyed tonight's 7-card stud tournament. Congratulations to Ted Forrest. We'll see you next time for the 2004 World Series of Poker.
All right, there it is. That was Ted Forrest winning his 4th bracelet after an 11-year hiatus in 2004. Thank you guys all so much for watching. This was Run It Back. This is the show. If you're new to the show, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and find my new Run It Back Clips channel on YouTube as well. We are releasing clips of the shows, some of the highlights of the top players that I've had on the show. And it's in general, if you love this show, you would love Run It Back, and you get to learn a little bit from the top pros along the way. All right, next week we have PokerGO Cup starting, which is going to be a tremendous series of high-stakes events. It's going to be, I believe it's 8 total high-roller events going from 10K up to 100K, and we're going to have tons of top players at those final tables. We have all the best players in the world in the mix for that event, so please go and check it out on PokerGO. We'll do some free preview streams on YouTube, but don't miss all the action on PokerGO for those events. I will look into finding that Deuce to 7 final table with Barry Greenstein. I am confident that I can find that somewhere, and then we will release that on PokerGO as well. But for now, this is the end of Run It Back. Thank you guys all so much for watching. My name is Remko Rinkema. Please give me a follow on Twitter. My handle is right here, at Remko Rinkema. That's this one right here. Give me a follow on Twitter. I'll be back next week with a guest. We'll probably do some mixed games again next week. If you guys enjoy that, I will get a mixed game player on the show so we can break down perhaps some Omaha 8 or better, some Raz, whatever we can find. We'll dive into it. For now, this was the show. Thanks all so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next week.